So imagine being erased from someone's mind, someone's life, like basically you never existed. And this sadly is the reality for many people who have been in narcissist dynamics or narcissistic relationships. It's a painful reality for so many of us. Today, we uncover the unsettling truth of how a narcissist can basically forget about you so easily, pull away from you like you basically never existed. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So today's video is all about how someone can just forget about you like you never existed, like you were never there, like erase history in their minds and make you believe, or make it feel like to you like you are absolutely nothing, like you are never part of their life. We're gonna look at this and really understand what narcissism really is and why. This is a thing, oh my God, friends, this is a thing when someone has narcissism, and when somebody behaves in this way, it's a complete and utter lack of empathy for another person. It's just a dismissal, isn't it? It's just a dismissal. And you know what? The narcissist actually, they get pleasure in doing this. And this is the sadistic thing about it. How can you do that? Like, this is the bending of reality, almost actually on the verge of gaslighting. How you can just pretend you don't know this person, or like this person never existed in your life. You got to remember that narcissists view relationships as tools for fueling their own life. They look at people as transactional. Okay, what can you do for me? How do you make my life better? It's not about you. Narcissists see people as extensions of themselves. They crave validation and admiration, but they lack genuine empathy. This makes it easy for them to discard people once they no longer serve a purpose. Okay, so let's look at understanding what narcissistic personality disorder actually is. I think this is really important in terms of trying to kind of piece together or understand this personality disorder. What traits are coming up here? What is going on? This will really help you in terms of identifying whether this person has this or has full-blown narcissism or has traits of it. Whilst I wouldn't say that diagnosing someone with this is the best way forward, but if somebody has similar traits to this, or this is sounding similar or familiar to you, then perhaps they have elements of this. And if this is the case, then this will help you to have greater understanding as to what is going on and why this is happening, because ultimately this will help you in terms of being able to get your head around it and have like some sort of an explanation. So narcissistic personality disorder, let's break this down. Ultimately, what you have to remember is you're dealing with a personality disorder. This is quite a serious and debilitating mental health illness. It's a real issue. Where this stems from is a dysfunctional ego. So it's someone who is trying to hide. They've put defense mechanisms up because they do not feel safe within their world. Whilst probably you're thinking, how is this possible, Anoushka, when this person is so confident, like they're so popular amongst people? How can they not be confident, popular, happy within themselves? No, that's not what's going on here. What you have to remember is that this person is pretending. It is a pretense. And it's done to such a level that that person believes it in themselves. Yeah, they believe it. This is the issue. This is what I'm talking about. This is the personality disorder. They do not live in reality. So it's a complete and amalgamation of a fantasy world. That's why they can do it. Narcissist has self-importance, a real need for validation, a real need for attention, more than the average person. They don't have an empathy for others. They don't care. It's all about them. They don't care about you. They don't care how it's making you feel. As long as they are all right, as long as it's making them feel good, that's all that matters. Part of the disorder. Can you see how this is playing out? Okay. And you got to understand that narcissists view relationships as something that fulfills them. It's about them. They don't have the bandwidth to be able to consider you, your needs, your emotions, and what's coming up for you. And this is why it's very easy for them to be able to get rid of people and just move on. I think it's important to look at now is the narcissist view of relationships. For a narcissist, relationships are transactional. So it's again, what can you do for me? How are you going to make my life better for me? What can you do for me? It's based on what the other person can provide for the narcissist, whether that's in a friendship, a romantic relationship, whether that's in a work setting. It's all about status or control. You got to remember, when you no longer fulfill these needs, the narcissist will simply move on. They will just go. And I know it's this old cliche. It's not about you. It really is about them, because narcissists lack the emotional depth to form genuine connections. So when they're done with you, they're done with you because you have disappointed them in some way. You're not conforming the way that they want you to. So they're just going to get rid of you. That's why they just discard you like you never existed. Ultimately, what you have to remember is, if you want to be with a narcissist, and you genuinely want to be with a narcissist, not what I'm saying, I'm promoting this or saying this is healthy, but you've got to conform. You've got to forget about you. You've got to forget about who you are. And this is where you just do what the narcissist wants you to do. The narcissist will want you to fulfill them, to make them feel good. How is that a relationship? That's not a relationship. How can you stay in something like that? You can't. So before you even get to that conclusion, the narcissist will see that you are not doing what they want you to do. Because of their deep fear of abandonment, they'll get rid of you first, because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like a lot more in control of the situation because of their own fear-based mentality. And again, this is part of the disorder. So how do narcissists discard people? So the process of being discarded by a narcissist is sudden and it's brutal. One day you might be literally the best thing, their bestest friends, their closest confidant. The next, you're invisible. It's literally just, they cut you off just like that. So let's explore the tactics that they actually use to make this happen. So common tactics include ghosting, abruptly ending the relationship, or cutting off all communication without any explanation. The goal here is to avoid any accountability and emotional confrontation. No responsibility. They've run for the hills. Again, it's not about you. It's not about anything that you've done. It's about them. So why do narcissists forget about you so easily? The answer is the lack of empathy and emotional depth. To a narcissist, relationships are superficial, and they won't change their mind on this. This is how they see it. Once you're no longer beneficial, they detach without any emotional accountability. They quickly move on to new people, to new partners, new sources of admiration and validation, leaving you behind as basically another stepping stone. It's not that they forget you, it's that you never really truly matter to them. They never really truly connected to you, even though it may have felt like that, but they never truly connected to you. And that is beyond your understanding. My friends, you're not going to understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they do that. But ultimately is that they never connected to you in that particular way. So that's how they're able to move on. That's how they discard. So the impact on you and how this affects you. Being discarded by a narcissist is deeply traumatizing, because you've formed a connection, you formed a bond with someone, and suddenly it's severed just like that. What you don't also realize is that in that time of being with the narcissist, you've lost yourself in all of this, because your identity, your belief, your self-worth, your confidence is also taken. And so and you don't realize this at the time, because at the time that actually does happen, you are so much further on than you actually realize, meaning you're questioning your self-worth and you're basically feeling invisible, because everything that you had done was literally just to kind of help the narcissist or be there for the narcissistic partner. And you've got to remember that things were geared up this way so that this would happen. meaning that you would serve them. But what you have to remember is that this is a reflection of their disorder and their inability to be able to connect. Doesn't mean that has to be something you've done or something that you haven't done. This is about them not being able to be healthy and understand connection. They have problems with interpersonal relationships. This is part of the condition. So healing from this experience involves understanding narcissism. You've got to understand what you're dealing with here. Seeking support from friends and family and someone that understands this. Again, like I always say, please see the description box because I do understand it. I work with individuals who have gone through this emotional trauma with a narcissist. So if you want to, again, seek the details in the description box. But ultimately, this is about practicing self-care. This is about coming home to yourself, connecting back to yourself. It's about rebuilding your self-esteem, which is really crucial in these aspects. So moving forward, being discarded by a narcissist is hard and it's challenging, but this requires time and self-compassion, focusing on reconnecting with your true self, setting healthy boundaries, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, ultimately putting all the focus and the validation on yourself. Surround yourself with people that appreciate you, that are compassionate, that can provide you love. And this will help rebuild your confidence and your trust within yourself and in relationships and connecting with others in general. So dealing with a narcissist is a really painful and confusing experience. But understanding their behavior can really empower you here, can really give you an understanding of what's going on and why this is happening. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it to someone who you feel that might need it. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on relationships and personal growth. Guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.